Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going over a simple yet highly beneficial TRX circuit that you can try if you're looking for a series of exercises that will challenge and improve not just your strength, but your mobility as well. All you need here is a TRX and about 15 minutes of your time so that you can run through this series of exercises anywhere from 1 to 3 times. Now, this video assumes that you are familiar with the TRX along with the basics of how to use one. If not, you might not get much out of this video, but I would say certainly learn up on it because it's an outstanding piece of equipment to use no matter who you are. Alright, so the main idea behind this little circuit is to provide a beginner-friendly series of exercises that target common strength and movement deficiencies found in the general population. So there is a rhyme and a reason for the series of exercises and movement patterns I've selected, and even for the order of them as well. As always, just make sure that exercising is appropriate for you, as I want you to be safe on your journey to health and wellness. And so if a movement doesn't feel good, don't do it. The goal is to challenge your body here without producing pain. Now, if you want the free PDF and step-by-step instructions for each exercise, you can download it for absolutely free. Just head over to my Buy Me a Coffee page, click on the Extras tab, and help yourself. There's also a bit more information in that document regarding how often you may want to consider performing this circuit, the movement planes involved, and so on. So if you want a few more specifics, that's where you'll find them. And if you want to make a small donation and buy me a coffee, you certainly can, but no pressure if you don't. I'm honestly just happy that I get the chance to help you on your journey to being a stronger, healthier version of yourself. So here we go. Let's do a quick visual demonstration and rundown on how to perform each exercise and what it's targeting. So the TRX split squat, it can be tricky for beginners, but it's like riding a bike. Once you get it, you got it. Now, once you've placed your foot in the TRX straps, hop forward so that the TRX follows you. And if you don't trust your balance, don't worry, I'll show you a strategy for this in just a second. This exercise works to strengthen the hips and the thigh of the stance leg while mobilizing the upper thigh and the hip flexors on the swinging leg. And the key with this exercise is to keep your chest up at all times while always controlling your movement. Now, as you lower yourself downwards, you should feel your back leg begin to stretch out while simultaneously feeling your stance leg activate. And I've placed this exercise at the start of the workout since it requires the most balance and concentration of all the exercises. And for these types of exercises, you want to do them when you're physically and mentally fresh, as it'll help to maintain good form and technique. Now, if you need extra balance or security, grab a broom handle, a dowel, a hockey stick, or anything of the like, and use that as the balance point during the exercise. You can also keep it in your hands but lift it off the ground and then tap it on the ground whenever you need to regain your balance. Once you've performed all of your repetitions on one leg, immediately switch to the other leg. And the TRX curtsy squat is an outstanding exercise to challenge your hip strength and your hip mobility. And the slower you perform this movement, the more challenging it'll be for your balance and your muscular endurance. And so you'll want to drop as low into the squat as you can while taking your non-stance leg and bringing it as far behind your stance leg as possible. And this is also an effective movement to help mobilize your lower back. And as you bring your non-stance leg behind you, you can either tap it on the ground for a bit of extra balance, or if you want a greater challenge, you can keep it off the ground at all times. And either is totally fine, just pick which is best for you. Now try your best to complete the entire set of repetitions without setting your foot down at the end of each repetition, so your foot is off the ground at all times. Now, I'm going to interrupt here and quickly let you know that if you do want to save some money for any TRX equipment purchases, I can help save you 20% on any TRX products. Simply head over to the TRX website and use the code TRX20SR. Now, I do receive a small commission from TRX when you use this code, which does help support this channel. And while your support is always immensely appreciated, I'm not here to push sales, and I always just want others to spend their money wisely. So if you do want or need TRX products, I'm honored to get the chance to help you to save some money. But if you don't need any TRX equipment, don't sweat it. Also, if you are finding the content of this video to be useful, helpful, or enjoyable, or anything in that sort of fashion, hitting the like button would mean a lot to me. All right, now let's get back to the exercises. The TRX side lunge is an absolute classic. What makes this exercise so great is that it not only targets the adductors, which are often tight and weak on individuals, but it also allows you to precisely control the challenge of the movement. And this occurs through how much you choose to pull up on the handles as you sink into and rise out of each lunge. And your arms essentially act as an offloader for your lower body. I like to start off by using a stance that's around 1.5 times the width of my shoulders, and I'll often change up my stance as I go along. The key is to sink down as far as you can on each side, but keeping it comfortable as you do so. And you may find that it's best to start with a slightly smaller range of motion and then sink a bit deeper and a bit further off to the side with each additional repetition you perform. And don't be afraid to let your toes come off the floor on your non-weight bearing leg as you lean away. This is often more comfortable and doesn't compromise the exercise in any way. The leaning side crunch may seem a bit unnatural feeling at first, but it is such an outstanding movement that it's actually one of my favorite TRX movements altogether. And this exercise will laterally flex the body, meaning it will bend you sideways, which often feels immensely therapeutic just to expose your spine and the surrounding muscles to this often neglected position. You'll get a beautiful stretch through the side of your midsection, and then you'll receive an immense contraction from your oblique muscles as you pull yourself upwards back to the starting position. And this is a beautiful strengthen and lengthen exercise when performed correctly. A couple of key pieces of information here. First, this movement requires zero movement from your arms, so they shouldn't move at all. This means that you keep your hands directly above your head and don't deviate from this position in the slightest. Second, as you drop sideways, it may help to think of dropping your hip down towards the floor. You want your body to end up in a curved position similar to the shape of a banana. And as always, the greater your angle of lean with the TRX, the greater the challenge. Once you performed all repetitions on one side, turn around and repeat the process for the other side of your body. The row and reach is an upper body exercise that will ask a lot of your arm strength and your mid-upper back strength as well. The reaching portion of this exercise helps to provide a nice bit of rotational movement through your spine. Simply grab the TRX straps in one hand and then lean back while rotating as far behind you as possible, as if you were reaching behind you for an object. Then, as you pull yourself upwards, rotate your upper body so that your free arm reaches as high up on the TRX straps as possible. Now really reach with this. Obtaining that extra inch can go a long way for helping to mobilize your body a bit more. And if you find you need a bit more of a challenge, place a dumbbell in your free hand when performing this movement. This will really kick things up to another level, so get ready for a hefty but outstanding challenge if the bodyweight version isn't quite enough. Lastly, if you find that the straps are uncomfortable to hold onto, wrap a hand towel around them, and then that should eliminate the discomfort that's often felt from the straps digging into the hand. For the TRX chest opener, we're actually only focusing on muscle lengthening for this one, but in a moment I'll show you the variation if you'd like the strengthening component as well. And this movement is all about lengthening and stretching the pectoral muscles. And this generally feels really good as most people often spend most of their day with their pectorals in a slightly shortened position. So take a step out until you feel a mild stretch in the front of your chest, and then hold this stretch anywhere from about 1 to 3 seconds. Keep it on the mild side and enjoy the feeling of opening up your chest muscles. Now, if you do want the strengthening portion, simply perform the same movement but without stepping forwards. Instead, just lean forwards as you let your arms move away from one another in a controlled manner. Once you feel you've gone as far as you can, pull your arms back together so that you return to the standing position. And this is commonly referred to as a chest fly. It's a perfectly fine movement to do. I just haven't included it as the primary movement here since you can't get quite as much of a stretch out of the traditional chest fly on the TRX that you can with the chest opener. And I'm prioritizing chest mobility over chest strength in this circuit. But neither is right or wrong, so pick whichever is best for you, or you can even do them both. Tricep extensions are going to do more than just strengthen your triceps. With the TRX, they're actually going to help promote healthy shoulder mobility as well. And that's because many individuals have poor shoulder mobility when it comes to raising their arms up above their heads. Now with these extensions, the triceps will receive a hefty strengthening challenge, and if your shoulders are a bit stiff, you'll feel those too from a lengthening perspective. And if you have good shoulder mobility, a movement such as this one can help ensure that your shoulders stay that way. Now for these extensions, they can easily become too demanding if you're leaning too far forward, so make sure you lean at an angle that makes the movement challenging for your triceps or shoulders, but doable while not being painful. And a pro tip here is to let your hands freely rotate throughout the movement. Now this can often reduce the stress that's commonly felt on the common triceps tendon around the elbows. You can keep your palms facing away from you at all times if you'd like, but many people, including myself, prefer to let the hands freely rotate. Just find what feels best for you. So there you have it, a series of exercises that you can try if you're looking for a quick full body routine to challenge your strength and mobility on the TRX. Now keep in mind that the number of repetitions that you can perform are up to you. In a very generalized sense, around 10 repetitions per exercise should suffice, but you can certainly increase or decrease this as needed. And I will say it's worth running through these exercises in a circuit fashion, meaning you immediately move from one exercise right into the next, and you take your break only after the very last exercise before you repeat the circuit again. But if you do want to perform each exercise a few times before moving on to the next one, you can certainly do it that way as well. And for the record, I like keeping these types of videos rather concise, so I haven't mentioned all the details I otherwise would, but if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to getting back to you. And if you would like to see more TRX content, let me know in the comments below. The TRX is absolutely one of my favorite pieces of equipment of all time for numerous reasons, and I'd be happy to make more content on this piece of equipment if you'd like. So everyone, keep looking after yourselves, keep looking after one another, keep making great things happen, and I will see you in the next video.